Sharmine Narwani is joining us now from Beirut. Let's get some comment from her. She's a political analyst covering the Middle East and a senior associate at Oxford University. Sharmine, good to see you tonight. Turkey's permitting further military action against Syria then, but claims it doesn't want a war. How do those two things mesh together then?
Well, I think we should, take note that permitting military action does not necessarily mean sanctioning it. So it's not like the Turkish parliament are, pressing ahead or encouraging the government to launch military strikes on Syria. Neither Turkey's population or military favor a direct military confrontation with Syria. This has been stated on numerous occasions. I think we have to, look at this in larger context. Turkey's declared war on Syria a long time ago. This is Erdogan and Davutoglu's war. They've supplied weapons, they've supplied training, assistance, they've harbored, gunmen and jihadists on their territory. So Turkey's at a situation now, a crossroads, where they cannot seem to get the international assistance they need to sort of, do a last push against the Assad regime. They cannot get a UN Security Council resolution to authorize these things. And this may be, setting the groundwork, a pretext for a backdoor into military intervention, because, of course, Turkey then can call on its NATO allies to assist. And it's essentially the NATO allies who would anyways do a military confrontation with the Assad regime if there was a UN Security Council resolution. So, and there are questions about this. Is this a false flag, operation to sort of set the grounds for military intervention? There have been many false narratives over Syria. I think this is just another one.
And Sharmine, what about within Syria itself? To what extent do you expect this authorization of cross-border military operations now to affect the Syrian troops' fight with the rebels then?
Well, Turkey, along with its, other nations who are gunning for regime change in Syria, are panicking because it looks like we're heading towards a final massive showdown in Aleppo between rebels and the Syrian National Army. And it looks like conditions still favor the Syrian National Army. Turkish strikes can give the rebels valuable heavy weapons cover. It can change the dynamics of the situation. Aleppo is close to the Turkish border. It can change the dynamics of the situation enough to perhaps prolong the confrontation in Aleppo and keep, something on the table for those opposing the Assad regime. Because if they lose Aleppo, this whole 19-month game could be over.
And, of course, Israel is now the latest to admit the Syrian conflict's moving too close to its borders and the threat of more jihadists joining the rebel ranks there. Is the Syrian violence, do you think, really reaching a regional level maybe now?
Well, we've been hearing these kind of themes a lot. This is going to implode, this is going to explode, this is going to be a regional conflict. We haven't really seen that quite yet. Of course it could be. And, any cross-border military operations are likely to exacerbate or make that a possible scenario. But, the noise, it's rather than being on a regional scale, the noise is at full volume on an international scale. A lot of this is just talk and chatter. What's very clear to me is, if you want to ratchet down the tensions and de-escalate militarily across borders or internally, there's one very simple thing that can be done. You can pull back support for rebels. And this is Saudi Arabia, this is Turkey, this is Qatar, this is the FACUS countries, France, UK, and the US, who are the main provocateurs in Syria, who are arming these rebels, these people who are now increasingly, Islamist in character, militant Islamists, jihadists from other nations. Very simple. Pull the plug on assistance to these people and, things will calm down instantly in the region. And it's certainly something that the Syrian government and Russia, China, Iran and others have been advocating for some time now.
Sharmine, thank you for your thoughts. Political analyst Sharmine Narwani on the line from Beirut there.